Hello and welcome to round 2 of the Parenting Roundabout podcast. I'm Catherine Haleko and I'm here with Terri Morrow. Say hi, Terri.
Hello.
Usually on this podcast, we talk about parenting issues, but once a week, Terri and I like to get together to discuss TV, movies, books, and other entertainment topics because it's nice to talk about something other than parenting for a change.
Yes.
So this week, we'll be continuing our discussion of the West Wing and Sports Night TV series. But first, Dancing with the Stars, the semifinals.
Yes. Well, our streak is broken.
Our streak is broken.
Get our favorite 4 into the finals.
True,
Boo.
But it did happen just as you predicted that the one who would be ousted would be Tara, and thanks to Jana. So
yeah, and I think that Calvin should be worried. So I mean, James and Laurie are a lock, I continue to say, but Calvin is vulnerable. He will be Jana's next victim if somebody doesn't dispatch her soon.
Boy, that sounds sinister.
It does, doesn't it? And I mean, his dancing tonight, I felt like, well, you know, if he doesn't make it to the final 3, I won't feel as terrible as I would have. He was okay, but not his best.
I really liked the trio.
That was fun.
With Lindsay and Whitney. I didn't really like, in general, I did not like the trios. Mm-hmm. Although Laurie's was good.
Laurie's was cute. It was like a skit.
It was fun.
Yes.
And then Lindsay's and Calvin's was a lot of fun and just like over the top crazy with all the lifting. Yeah. But the other ones, I don't know. Not my thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know why they do that, but I've seen there have been some very good ones, but I thought Laurie's was the only one that really worked really well. Although James's one was okay. But yeah, the Calvin one was just fun to watch. I don't know if it was particularly good dancing, but it was fun.
I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
It was clever, and it was just goofy and fun.
Yes, which has been his vibe.
Right, and just smiley and charming. And Calvin.
Yeah.
Megatron.
Yeah.
So that was fun. And, you know, I do have to say that they praised Tara's rumba, like her first. And
those were lovely parting gifts. I really felt at the time. And it's turned out to be right. The same thing when Marilou got really high scores. I was going, that is a thank you very much as you go out the door. So indeed it turned out to be.
Right.
But, yeah, I didn't think that was very good at all, and I didn't think who was it? I guess it was Jana that I thought got good scores. That I didn't think it was that great. So
yeah, I mean, I thought that I agreed with the judges that Calvin and Lindsay's tango was kind of weird, and Laurie's was beautiful.
Yes,
you know, her purple dress was. That one was beautiful, and then her trio was great, and so
I really loved James's Argentine tango. I thought that was terrific, and it got that 9 from Carrie-Ann just to be difficult, just maybe because he's doing really well, and so they can. I don't know, but I thought that was really fun, and fun's not the right word. Really dramatic and well done.
Right,
and that
and well done.
handstand at the end was just wild.
Right.
What the heck is he doing?
Yes. And he did make sure to show us his girlfriend.
Yes. Many clips of her in the package, and then she's back in the audience. She's no dummy.
Just asserting herself there.
Spotlight on me,
folks.
Please. Yes.
Just
blonde and the
letting you know. I am here.
But I was sad with Laurie's grandmother. That was surprising.
I know.
They're going along in this package, and then
yikes. See, when Tom introed it by saying like it turned out to be a very difficult week for Laurie, and then they showed the grandma in the package, I was like, oh no,
really?
Oh no, grandma didn't make it. And sure enough.
Wow, I did not pick up on that at all until they put the black screen. Wow, and Tom seemed real emotional about it since he's lost his parents recently.
Right.
So that was nicely done, but it's sort of like I mean, there's nothing you can do when these things happen, but it's like too heavy for the ballroom.
Right. Right.
Oh, man. She should be able to go take a week off and be with her family. She shouldn't be here dancing and having to smile. And so that is hard.
And that was her thing. Like, I wish I could have gone more time.
If I wasn't doing two things at once right now, maybe I could have gone and said hi. But she's a trooper.
She really is.
Yeah.
And then by the time of her trio, she was back to Smiley and playing the character and just, doing it.
Yeah.
So professional.
Well, she kind of is,
Yeah, I know.
But I mean, there's no,
there's no
go out there
gymnastics.
and do your vault, lady. I don't care what happened to you. Put a smile on your face.
Broken ankle.
Do your job. So I really hope she wins. Although I like James very much. And I think that for somebody who's never danced before, he's really doing phenomenally. And he sells it so well.
Yeah, I mean, just watching his footwork in that, especially in the trio, because it was I forgot now, a jive or a quick step, a jive. He was just right on there with those two pros, and there was no hiding, as they said in their commentary. He was front and center.
Yes,
yes. There's no mist of hiding footwork or big.
Nope.
I mean, there was a race car, okay, but there wasn't like fireworks and smoke and mirrors.
Yeah, he was doing his thing. I thought that was good. And it's just basically, I mean, the dances were all fairly enjoyable. I really hated Jana's trio. I felt like the guys were dancing around her and she was just kind of standing there looking uncomfortable, like she was trying to remember what she was supposed to do. And they were raving about it.
And that whole beginning where it was all silhouetted, and I'm like, well, you can't really see anybody dancing here.
Lots of so you think you can dancey touches in there. Right. The wall with the hands grabbing at them, that I feel like I would be right up that show's alley. And the thing with the tree roots and all that. Even though they were doing ballroom dances, they had the theatricality of the stupid dances on that show.
Yes, they definitely did.
But my daughter and I were sitting watching it, and when she was getting good scores for that, we were like, no.
We
that
protest.
Was awful.
We file a complaint. Yes. So next week we will have the finals, and that is going to be Monday and Tuesday. So that means we will be bringing you round 2 on Wednesday next week.
Right.
So do not despair when we do not turn up in your feed on Tuesday. We will be there.
We'll put a little reminder on Twitter just in case you're worried.
Yes, and you can still get a speed round. So
that's right.
That was dancing, and now we are going to talk about another show that is nearing its conclusion for us, which is Sports Night.
Semifinals of Sports Night tonight.
That's right, because we watched 4 episodes from the end of the second season. The Local Weather, Draft Day, parts 1 and 2. Part 1 is called It Can't Rain at Indian Wells, and Draft Day part 2 is called The Fall of Ryan O'Brien, and then finally we watched the episode April is the Cruelest Month.
Yeah. Starting to get towards the end there, you can see in a lot of things we're heading towards the end.
Yes.
Including possibly of the show within a show. Things are not
right. Things are looking dire, especially in that final one that we watched, April. April is the Cruelest Month. I don't know that I've ever seen anybody do a Seder on a sitcom, including like the Hebrew prayers. I mean, Joshua Molina up there singing his Hebrew, like, wow, that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, that was cool. I enjoyed that, and him doing all the different parts in their own particular. He's writing all this thing out. Yeah, that was cool. You will be
Pharaoh's assistant, Maggie.
That was a nice save for Jeremy, because he was kind of a jerk in a lot of these episodes.
He really was. He was a jerk. He was a jerk to Jenny, the porn star.
Uh-huh.
They prefer to be called
the
adult film actress. He said something really mean to Natalie.
Didn't he say something like, I found someone who slept with more people than you, or something like that? What the heck?
I know.
My jaw dropped, and I expected her to say something or like, slap him, and it just went by.
I know.
That was uncalled for. What the heck, man?
Yeah, I definitely noticed that and was not happy with that.
So you got some atoning to do, mister.
I know, really. I mean, not Yom Kippur, but still.
Yeah, true. I like Joshua Molina a lot, and I like the character of Jeremy a lot, but
yes,
man.
But this was
not a good run of episodes for him.
No, definitely was not.
And
just the whole, I mean, I get it. Like it is, it is a weird scenario. Like, how do you date someone who's in that line of work? But he just stepped in it a bunch of times.
And she forgave him a fair amount, but it's difficult. And Dan also having did that kind of his bad day just kind of come out of the blue? I mean, he's been seeing the therapist, and then he wasn't on that list, but I don't remember him being quite this. It seemed a little sudden that he was quite this upset.
I agree. It felt like it came out of nowhere. Like, what exactly is it that tipped him into this particular mood that he's in, or full on depression, or whatever you want to call it? Yeah, it was strange. I felt like the way he's just like stalking around, so angry, and just.
Well, was it the? I mean, I liked that episode he had where he spent the whole time in the doorway of his therapist's office because he wasn't gonna do it, and then of course she just. I like the way she handles him. It's not realistic in any degree, but it's enjoyable to watch.
Right.
So he saw the jumper get his great record and then lose it within 5 minutes. And maybe that's what got under his skin. And then he was so unpleasant in the next thing. But
and then it was revealed, like, Casey makes more money than him.
Yeah.
And that Casey's the star and he's the second banana, which I don't think has been made explicit up until this point.
Alluded to, I think, a time or two, but not specific. So it's stuff that's been simmering for a long time, I guess. I just didn't think there was quite enough run-up.
Right, I agree.
But, it's 30 minutes and they're running out of episodes, so I guess I have to maybe just
and did they
catch up. Viewers.
Did they know that this was going to be it? Like that they weren't going to be renewed, or was this
That's a really good question. I will have to look that up to see when they found out that it wasn't going to go, because they definitely had time to wrap it up. As I recall, we'll see if I'm remembering correctly, but I seem to remember it not ending on an open thing,
on a cliffhanger type of thing.
No, I could be wrong. It could have been one of those where it leaves it where if this is the end, you have some resolution, and if it's not the end, we can still salvage it.
We can still come back. Okay.
But I don't remember. I just know that Clark Gregg is involved somehow.
Well, those are the 3 final episodes are coming up. That's what we're going to watch next to round up the season. Those are called Bells and a Siren, La Forza del Destino, and Quo Vadimus.
Vadimus, I think.
Vadimus. I don't know how to speak Latin or Italian. So those apparently are required for us to get through the final couple of episodes.
Apparently so.
So now, was this the kind of thing where you were watching it, live when the show first came out, and then later you rewatched because you got the DVDs, right?
Yeah, I don't.
So do you remember how
honestly,
you felt?
I don't remember if I watched it live the first time or not, or if I picked it up on DVD after I got into the West Wing. I'm not sure. I think I remember there's a thing in these last 3 episodes where there's sort of a mystery. And I remember that, and I remember getting really excited when the solution to it arrived. And wondering what that meant for the show going for. So maybe we didn't know it was going to be canceled when they had the last episode. Maybe there was still hope. I can't remember. We will see. This will be perhaps it will spur my memory when I get to it. But I do remember one of the episodes, where something clicks into place at the end, and that was exciting. But I don't remember why.
Okay.
So we shall see.
We shall see. So that's coming up.
Yes.
Next week.
Okay.
Anything else you wanted to say about these 4? Jana's hair, I noticed, became back to the weird hair.
The tendrils came back.
The 2 tendrils and the zigzag part.
And I wonder strongly about the Band-Aid on Dana's face being a Band-Aid on Felicity Huffman's face that they had to write around.
Yeah.
Because otherwise there's really no reason for it.
Well, there was that very nice conversation with her and Casey.
But there are 10 million different ways you could have that conversation that would not involve a Band-Aid on somebody's face. So True. I'm guessing she bumped into something, or maybe she has a nervous condition, or she fell on her face just spontaneously. As honestly is something that happens. I'll say for myself. Sometimes you just go down. But I'm suspicious about that. Mm-hmm. It seems like an odd way to go about that. Yeah. If it's not. It seemed more like a clever way of dealing with something that they had to deal with anyway.
Mm-hmm. They did well.
Yeah, they did. That was nicely done.
They're still leaving that tiny, tiny flame flickering.
They are. They are. It's there.
Like it or not, it's there.
Yes. And have we ever seen John Delancey as Weasley finance guy before? Was he the CFO or something like that? Mm-hmm. Who just cannot be bothered to give a darn about any of them.
He's another one of the cast of mustache twirlers. Exactly.
Well and loathsomely done.
Yes, exactly. Things are
not looking good for our band of misfits here.
That's right, but we'll find out for sure next time.
Next time when we watch the last 3 eps.
Right. So for now, though, we're going to move on to the West Wing and its accompanying podcast, the West Wing Weekly. This week's episode was called Shibboleth, and
a favorite of many.
A favorite of many, including Rishi Herway from the podcast. And it's a Thanksgiving episode, which is rather well-timed.
Yeah, really. How did we manage it? Well, they managed that, I guess.
Right. I don't even think they did it on purpose.
No, because they would have done it next week if it was.
Right,
exactly. Yes, the whole plot of CJ and the turkeys is just delightful. And
it is hilarious.
Especially as they pointed out on the podcast, which you don't necessarily think when you're watching it. You can't coach turkeys all that much. So she's having to react in the moment to whatever the turkeys happen to be doing. It's not like the turkeys were reading a script. So, and she just does it so naturally and gracefully that you don't even think about the fact that
she walked into her office and there were 2 turkeys in there. And I did enjoy how they pointed out on the podcast how Janelle Maloney as Donna comes running up to her going, wait.
I didn't even think about that.
She sounds like a turkey.
She really does. That was a very good thing to point out. That was funny. Donna in this whole thing was very funny in her sort of helping CJ through the Thanksgiving stuff. The only one who remembers that she wasn't there last year.
Yeah, because she was sick, so she missed the whole
the guys, meanwhile.
As she called it.
Yes.
Yes. So that was a nice, light subplot to go along with the very sad story of the refugees from China who have come over in a container ship. And many of them had died during the voyage. And then there's a whole thing about whether they can be seen as refugees, whether they can request religious asylum, basically.
I liked many things about that plot. If we never see Mary Marsh on this show again, I would be very happy. I don't know why we had to see her again now. Really, you could have had that scene without her, and it would have been much more nuanced. She's just a piñata,
Yeah, and she just comes in there with guns blazing before they've said anything.
It's really annoying.
Yeah, I agree. And meanwhile, the other guy is so much more reasonable. The other religious right guy.
It's annoying that feel like there's a need for that character being there, being obnoxious, just so that we can all feel superior.
Right.
And the thing they didn't mention this on the podcast, but I was thinking, since we just saw the Sports Night episode where there was a bomb in the studio because somebody had done something that angered the Christian right, and Casey went off on them with pretty much exactly the same speech that Sam made.
Right.
So obviously this is something that Sorkin feels like needs to be said as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Hypocrites!
Let me put it in someone else's mouth just so you hear me. So, yeah. And then we had two more plots. Point. We had Leo's sister.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot
potentially
about that.
being named to a post at the Department of Education. But if they put her forth, then it's going to cause a ruckus over school prayer, and Leo doesn't want her to do it. And finally, he is once Toby gets taken down by a Republican staffer,
right?
Then Leo's able to get his sister out.
Well, yeah, specifically because she not only enforced the law, but took pictures, made sure there were pictures of her enforcing the law,
right,
in a way that would be troublesome.
Right.
And I often
do not strut.
Yes, I think of that line of Leo's a lot. There are a lot of people who need to have that said to them in the actual world.
Yes.
Oftentimes when somebody is on their moral high horse, I think of those words.
Yes, exactly. So that happened, and I had to feel kind of sorry for Leo, because his sister also came in kind of guns blazing, just like Mary Marsh did. And, she knew what was going to happen. He knew what was going to happen. And it was just kind of...
Which is why...
unfortunate.
Toby to just not even do it.
Right. Don't even start there.
It's obviously going to be a thing. So,
right.
But then, of course, most charmingly, there is Charlie and the knives.
Yes. Very sweet.
Yes.
And I didn't get it. If you remember from last week's podcast, when I read the description on Wikipedia of this episode, and it ends with, Charlie gets a knife for the president, who gives another one to Charlie. And you said, oh, no, they gave it away. But really, I didn't.
Oh, good.
I didn't. Good. That doesn't capture the weight of what really happened.
Yes.
So
giving him the knife by Paul Revere that has been in your family for quite a long time. After having run him around looking for knives in the most obnoxious possible way.
Right. Oh, boy.
Charlie is getting more and more unflappable by the day.
Yes, he's the best. He and Mrs. Landingham.
Yes.
Like they can just, okay. Yeah. We just keep on trucking.
Rolls right off. But that was very sweet. So interesting, nice balance of light and serious in this episode. Right. And a lot of good humor, which is what the West Wing Weekly podcast was focused on and pointing out. Right. Very enjoyable. First of well, there's at least one other Thanksgiving. Well, you've seen the Butterball Hotline Thanksgiving.
I have seen.
That must be next season. But,
yes. So West Wing celebrates Thanksgiving.
Yes.
And next week the episode is titled Galileo.
It's a good one. And the one after it, Noel, is spectacular. So we got some good ones ahead.
All right, so that's going to be it for our round 2 today. Please subscribe to our Parenting Roundabout podcast so you won't miss any of our episodes, including our daily speed rounds and our weekly group chats. As always, you can find recaps, links, and an opportunity to comment on our website at parentingroundabout.com. Goodbye, Terry.
Goodbye, Catherine.
Bye, everyone.